Surprise! Waves is back in the limiter game with a massive update to L2, the L4 Ultramaximizer. Let's get right into it. But first, if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share the video, and watch to the end. It really helps the channel. And use my Plugin Boutique affiliate link on screen or in the description to grab L4 and other crazy deals. And let me know in the comments below what you think of L4. Waves' L2 limiter is a legend that practically defined mastering loudness in the late 90s and 2000s. And I still use it to this day for everything from track limiting to mastering. But that being said, it's very basic and was showing its age. For modern production, we demand more from our limiters. Especially after FabFilter revolutionized limiters, and Waves has entered the ring confidently now with the L4. The first huge update is the interface. And I have no trouble saying this is Waves' single best UI refresh ever. Why? Not only do you get a clean, clear design with large fonts and easy to understand elements, they also did away with the awful AB design language that they kept moving around and became a totally confused, ugly nightmare to use. But I digress. The real killer additions here are information. You get an LUFS readout, 2 separate screens, simple sliders with attenuation and upwards compression, more on that later, and you can switch to an analyzer display with gain reduction and threshold, delta, the mode switch, gain match, plus on top of all of that, oversampling, true peak limiting, and dither. Wow, this isn't just an update, this is an entirely different league than L2 or even L3. And let's face it, the L3 line was pretty confusing. Let's break the new features down. L4 includes a full loudness panel calibrated to industry standards. And when you open L4, it defaults to short-term loudness. I'm not sure why that is. I would expect integrated LUFS or long-term average loudness to be the default. But you can swap between the two by clicking the readout. The cool thing is, even if you selected integrated loudness, it will still show you the short-term loudness in the bottom right corner, and vice versa. So you never need to keep flipping back and forth. I love this. It's a smart way to get lots of information in a tight area. So all you need to do to get loudness happening is lower the threshold on the left. There, we've hit Spotify's -14 standard. Easy. Oh, and check this out. L4 only adds 1.4 milliseconds of latency at default settings. Nice for tracking if that's important to you. Now say you want a really loud master. What we often do is master to as high as -8 or -7 LUFS integrated, so that the master isn't really quiet when played against a CD or advertisements. We could look at the average loudness before limiting. Let's reset that. In this case, the average loudness is around -27 LUFS. And since our target loudness will be -8 LUFS, we can subtract 27 from 8. And we know we need around 19 dB of gain reduction to get to -8. Let's apply that. Look at that, nice and loud in an instant. Okay, so we have a massive difference in gain. Let's use gain match to see if this holds up. So this is equalizing the level between the loud master and the input signal, between the dry and the wet. I'll try to manage loudness jumps here, but be warned. Let's use gain match to see if this holds up. This is basically averaging the level between the loud signal and the dry signal. Okay, so this is the affected signal, this is the L4 signal, and this is dry. So I think L4 is doing a great job here. The drum transients are still punching through well, and the bass isn't getting ducked out. If anything, I think it's gluing the sound together a bit more in a pleasing tape kind of way. Another thing we can do to help with crazy loud limiting like this is to engage oversampling. And we have that up here. Let's go with the highest setting, 16 times oversampling. Oversampling helps reduce aliasing and improve the accuracy of the limiter and clipping stages, especially at high settings. L4 processes audio at a higher internal rate and then downsamples back to the session rate, so that adds a few more milliseconds of latency, but still not much, even with 16 times oversampling like I have here. Okay, so we have oversampling on, let's gain match and AB again. Wow, that's even cleaner. I can't tell much of a difference now. Now, something that can occur with really loud masters are intersample peaks, or signal levels that shoot past the limiter ceiling and cause your MP3s to be quieter or even harm your analog speakers in some scenarios. So even with oversampling enabled, if I have the ceiling set to 0, we can see there are some intersample peaks occurring. So I can fix this by lowering the ceiling, and I'll put the ceiling to -1 dB, as that's what Spotify demands. And I don't see any ISPs anymore in Dither. But if I want to keep my ceiling at 0, or be absolutely sure that there are no true peaks passing the ceiling, I can enable true peak up top here to prevent that. Oh, and I almost forgot. Another excellent feature is the graphic display, which you can see by clicking the little waveform icon above the meters in main view. And here you can get a really handy overview of what L4 is doing. The light blue signal at the bottom is your original mix before processing. And you can see the threshold here is down lower than the peaks. And the dark blue represents the new loud signal, so you can see the difference. And the red shows you exactly how L4 is attenuating the peaks in your signal. Users of Pro L2 and similar limiters will be very accustomed to this type of readout. Again, this is such a quantum leap of improvement over L2, it's mind-boggling. Now, if that's not enough, Waves wisely introduces 4 new algorithms. The modes are modern, balanced and punchy, great for most material, and I love it here. Smooth, transparent, and cohesive, similar to modern but with a slightly rounder and more relaxed feel. This actually sounds a little more transparent on the kick drum. I like this. Then there's aggressive, loud and forward, suited for gritty, hard-hitting mixes. And you can really hear the clipping on this one. You can even crank up the clipping here for a really dirty master, which you might want for the right genre. And then there's safe, clean and controlled, ideal for delicate or broadcast material. This mode is designed to never introduce audible distortion, even under heavy limiting. And as we can hear, this is pumping more with this heavy material. but that's fine, it's better suited for other material. And finally, L2 Legacy. This emulates the original Waves L2 response for those who prefer that classic style. And I do hear that telltale, punchy, choppy limiting still. But it's still excellent for drums and always worth testing out. Another shocking and competitive feature is upwards compression. This was a real surprise, and you can use this to compress and raise the quieter parts of your mix, which can lead to the impression that the material is louder without affecting your transients. This is what compressors like OTT do, and if I crank this up, you can hear all the background sounds like reverb tails and hi-hats come to the front. It sounds thicker and more pumping. Adding a little of this is a real mastering secret. Quickly rounding out the other features are Dither, which is recommended for when you're exporting your final mix to lower resolutions in compressed formats. Basically, when you reduce a high-quality digital audio file to streaming size, digital quantization noise is introduced. On very quiet sounds, fades, reverbs, piano notes, this can turn into a gritty zipper noise. Dithering adds a little inaudible hiss that helps smooth out any of those microscopic noises. So just choose your destination bit resolution and go. And you have some options here for the type of noise and level, and this carries over from the old L2 plugins. You also have Delta, so you can audition exactly what is being attenuated by L4. Useful to really inspect what L4 is doing. Just out of curiosity, let's see how Waves L4 fares against the mighty Pro L2. I've adjusted Pro L to have similar settings. -1 dB ceiling, -15 dB of gain reduction, modern algorithm on both. But with Pro L, I tweaked the settings a bit to try to get the distortion under control. Let's listen, here's Pro L. And here's L4. It's subtle, but I'm hearing a little distortion and compression in Pro L2 that I don't in L4. Although I think Pro L2's auto gain is a little more accurate than L4's. I find it can be hard to control Pro L2 when you have this much gain reduction. And I tend to spend a lot of time tweaking look ahead and channel linking and stuff like that. But with L4, I think this sounds good with very little tweaking. But that's really close. Waves L4 is on sale right now for only $49, and I think that's a fantastic value for a pro quality limiter that gives Pro L a run for its money. So check that out as well. Use my affiliate link below for that. But at super high settings, I find L4 to be the most effective. And if you have a Waves subscription, this is the limiter you should be looking at. This is insane value. I'm super impressed with what Waves did here by dragging L2 triumphantly into the future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. I love hearing from you. And use my affiliate links to buy L4 and support the channel. Until next time, mix well.